At this point, it really feels like Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is, of course, going to go down as quite possibly the worst, at least the most incompetent, and perhaps even the most disastrous Secretary of Defense the United States has ever had. And let's keep in mind, it hasn't even been 4 months yet. But Hegseth, this past week, lost a second $70 million fighter jet when it just fell into the ocean. Just fell into the ocean. The pilots had ejected, obviously, so they were okay. The crew on board the USS Harry Truman, the aircraft carrier, everybody was fine there. No injuries reported, but the jet just bloop right off the edge. And this was the second time in the last 2 weeks when a $70 million fighter jet just bloop, went off the edge of the aircraft carrier. You know, kind of the number one job of that crew on that aircraft carrier is don't let the aircrafts go overboard. Okay, that's job number one. Don't let the plane roll off the side. And it's happened twice in 2 weeks. The first one, which happened on April 28th, the aircraft carrier had to swerve, which is weird when you think of an aircraft carrier as massive size trying to swerve, but it swerved because, you know, they were avoiding an enemy ship. And when they did that, the tow machine moving one of the aircrafts tipped, the aircraft tipped, and they both went over the edge in the Red Sea. This past week, not a similar situation. The jet was coming in. Something was off. Not exactly sure what. I have not seen that in the reports. Of course, the military keeps those things a little bit quiet. But the pilots had to eject, and the plane just went over the aircraft carrier's side and bloop, right down to the bottom of the Red Sea. Second one, 2 weeks, $70 million a pop. And you may think, okay, well, Pete Hegseth was not working on the ground crew or the aircraft carrier crew. He was not flying the jets. He was not operating the tow machine. He didn't cause the jets to fall overboard, Farron. You can't say this is on him. Actually, I can. Because the USS Harry Truman has been deployed over there in the Red Sea for an exceptionally long period of time. In fact, so long that it is actually past due to come back to the United States to port. And all of the soldiers on board are overdue for rest. But instead of allowing the USS Harry Truman aircraft carrier to come home and undergo maintenance and give these people that are working round the clock time off to reset their brains, which science says needs to happen, Hegseth has personally extended its deployment twice. A guy hasn't been in office for 4 months, and he's extended their deployment twice in 4 months, under 4 months. And military experts do say that this is having an impact on the performance of the aircraft carrier, on the performance of the soldiers on board, on the pilots, on everything. Whether human beings want to admit it or not, science tells us that in order to get our brains right, we need rest. In order to make sure that we do not have constant accidents like we are seeing on the USS Harry Truman, we need to bring it back in. We need to get these men and women back home. They need to take some time off. They need to be able to reset their brains, get a good night's sleep, and then continue with their mission. That is what happens even in times of war, folks. And last I checked, we're not at war. So why are we not giving this aircraft carrier and the troops on board the time to rest? Because the longer it stays out there, the more mistakes get made. That is what we are seeing right now. And that is 100% on Pete Hegseth. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support of us here at Fair and Balanced, and I want to introduce something completely new. We have now opened up memberships for our fans, and by signing up and becoming a member, you not only get exclusive early access to each day's videos. So you will get to see them a day before the general public, but you will also qualify for badges, emojis, special little icons. So please, we encourage everyone, if you want to help support the channel, please think about signing up and becoming a member. It is your support that helps keep us going. So thank you all very much. Check out the perks of membership, and I hope to see you all as members very soon.